Alleging voter intimidation, the elections director in King County, Washington, is asking the sheriff's office there to investigate Republican Party activists who allegedly staked signs near ballot boxes in Seattle warning voters that they were, quote, under surveillance. Let's get to tonight's lightning round with KTTH Seattle Talk Radio host Jason Rantz. All right, Jason, always great to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Apparently, there are people who put out signs near ballot boxes saying they're under surveillance and warning them that there would be criminal consequences for harvesting or depositing ballots for pay. And now the other side of this argument is saying they're trying to intimidate people from exercising their right to vote. What have you found?
Yeah, so I found that both sides are insane on this. Number one, you've got people who are leaning into conspiracy theories around these drop boxes, and I don't think it serves their side well and the candidates that they're backing. On the other hand, the idea that we're going to call this voter intimidation when it very clearly is not. It is legal to have signs around drop boxes. They're not inherently political, and I'm not entirely sure I know who they are intimidating, other than people who might be doing something illegal. Voter harvesting is okay in the state of Washington, unfortunately. They do need to change that. But this idea that it has to be investigated by the sheriff's office is absolutely absurd, especially because we had a socialist city council member who tried to put up her own little booth. They were printing out ballots. Again, it's legal in Washington state to do that. And there was not a real big stink about that. So it's just odd that they're going after the Republicans in this way.
Okay, something there has been, and by the way, the Republican Party there, I think, is saying these are outliers. We didn't, this is not something officially we've done
this is
through
not
the party.
sanctioned.
We don't go for this. Okay, but something else that's raising a stink is Dave Chappelle in Minneapolis. Shortly before he was supposed to have a big show there, got canceled, moved to another venue, but apparently there was some backlash there, and the venue who canceled him say, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We let you down, and he can't do the gig here.
Yeah, they're right. They did let people down, except they let the wrong people down. For some reason, they're deciding to lean into wokeness. If you want to embrace comedy, you're going to have to embrace jokes that you might not like. Part of comedy means being able to express yourself, and sometimes you're going to tick someone off. That is the gig. And if you can't do that, then just have the Sesame Street traveling theater show up, and that's just what you should do. Because if you're going to take out all of the fun out of comedy and the potential for offense, then you're not really in the right industry, and you should just close down. This is such a disgrace.
Well, comedy is often very offensive, and I think there are a lot of comedians out there who say it's just not fun anymore because they're worried they're going to get canceled or cross the line or offend the wrong group.
Yeah.
But I find a lot of comedy is offending groups of people. Whether you like it or not, don't go to the show, or, apparently there was enough backlash that they said, we don't want to host it here. He went somewhere else, had the show. Okay, I want to ask you about this case of a veteran who was working, a mom who was working in the Washington Attorney General's office. You've been digging on this story. She was allowed to work from home with a religious exemption. She was not COVID vaccinated. She was pregnant. While she's out on maternity leave, apparently she finds out she's going to lose her job unless she gets vaxxed and boosted by the time she comes back from maternity leave. What have you found?
Yeah, it's a very odd phone call to get completely out of nowhere, saying that we want you to return to the office once your maternity leave is up. We're not going to be able to accommodate you, which of course is a lie because they've been accommodating her this entire time. And then they decided to fire her. So we have a vaccine policy in place. Not only do you have to be vaccinated, but you also have to be boosted. She doesn't want to do that. She has a religious objection to it. And again, this is an attorney general, like so many Democrat politicians, who are all about my body, my choice, except when you make a choice that I don't support. Then all of a sudden you're completely out of a job. And she sent out an email to a lot of staff members, and that email magically disappeared as she was explaining her criticism towards this policy. The state attorney general's office is not disputing that they let her go. They're saying we didn't delete the email. I've caught them doing that in the past, and they've admitted to doing it in the past. So I tend to side with the mom and the veteran on this one.
But at this point, she is gone from that job because of this dispute over the COVID policy.
She's out of a job.
Even though she had a religious exemption, these cases are still ongoing, and we're going to continue to track them. And Jason, we thank you for your information on this one.
Thank you.
Good to see you.